All right, I want to do a real quick video on how to properly tape. There's a lot of different ways that you can do this, and we're going to have a system that we'll have in the video in a minute on how to get a nice crisp line. A lot of it has to do with taping, but there are instances where you just need to tape up some baseboard, and we're going to try to go through all of those scenarios now. The very first scenario is we are rolling the walls, but we are not touching the baseboard. You still want to make sure that you get relatively close to that baseboard. So what we do is we pull a piece off. I prefer to do it in sections that are about 2 foot long. That's just easy for me to work with. And then I'll start with somewhere by the corner, work my way left, or from the corner over there, work my way right. This particular instance, I'm gonna show you right in the middle of it. So once again, any time you use tape, you want to make sure your fingers are stuck to the back side, and this front side allows you to be able to move it around. You can adjust tape however you want to. It becomes a really easy process once you figure out the movement that tape can make for you. So your very first thing is to pull it tight. And I'm not talking about pull it so tight it breaks. I'm talking about get it to where it's straight, get it nice and taut. I'll apply it. Once again, I got my finger, my thumb is applying it to where I want it to go. I push it down and then I hold it. I always hold it right at the end. Now I can move my tape around anywhere that I want it to go. I just simply move it from this end. And so what I'll do is I'll put a little bit on and then I'll move it. If I need to move it up, I'll move it up. If I need to move it down, I'll move it down. But I'll move it wherever I want it to go. I'm not pulling so hard that I'm going to break the tape. That's not the objective. If you tape something and you don't like the line, pull it back up, try again. But it always has the ability to move, and then I'm pushing down and making sure that I get the right seal every time that I want it to get. Just like that. And then if the goal for this particular tape line is that I don't get anything on the baseboard, I'm gonna leave my tape up just like that. I want it to catch any paint that is getting rolled on these walls and falling to the baseboard. Here's what I don't want if I'm doing that. I don't want to seal it up and go like this. Now I have the potential of paint coming down here, hitting this area, dripping down and being onto my baseboard anyways. So if my objective is to keep the baseboards clean, you want to leave the lip standing up so it has the ability to catch any paint that might be falling. And I'll only push it down to that first top lip. Just like that. Now if a drop comes down and hits here, it sits here. And if it does for some reason drip off, it's dripping off onto a drop cloth, not onto the baseboard. So the objective is to keep the baseboards clean in this particular instance. Now we get to taping a corner. A lot of guys have different tactics about this, this way. There's a few different things that you can do. I prefer to just take a piece big enough. If this is the side that's going into the corner, I know that the corner I need to cut like this, so I'll actually take it and rip it to angle as the corner. Then I'll get it right up into the corner, same thing. I'll start from that side, I'll push down, and then I'll move my tape exactly how I need it to move to match up perfectly with that one. Just like that, push down a little bit on that top, leave your lip open, just like that. Do it again. I'll know if I went this route, my cut is already the cut that it needs to be to get inside here. So I'll pull a little bit more. I'll come at it using my thumbs mainly, stick it in there. And there we go. You got a perfect 90-degree tape line. It's gonna catch all the paint that you need it to catch. And it's sitting in there perfectly for you to be able to paint that wall the right way. So remember, when you're doing a tape line, your objective is to always, in any type of taping situation, is to always be able to move that tape. You hold the one side firm and the other side you get to move. Same thing if you're doing like a line like this. You can see this is actually a clear whiteboard line versus a painted line. What you do is you want to get right on it. Your first area, you make sure it's tight, and then this you can move. And as you move it, you just move it up and down, wherever you want it to go. Push on it, you can move it, and that allows you to get super crisp lines. It doesn't matter what the bottom of the tape looks like. As long as that top is nice and crisp, you can't go wrong with it. So you just start, I'm applying with my thumb, and then I'm moving. however I want to move it. I make sure that it's right where I need it to be. Tape can be manipulated very, very easily however you want to manipulate it, but you've got to get that feel for it and know how and when to apply the right pressure.